back to my channel. My name is Manelia. I'm going to film this Get Ready With Me today. I did just a really glittery brown eye. So if you want to see how to get this look, keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start with priming the eyes. I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light. And I'm just going to get a nice white base first for our eyeshadows. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this little beauty blender and just blend her out. Like that. All the way up to the brows so that we have a good brow bone highlight as well. I have this new station on Pandora. It's the Duke Dumont. He's a DJ. And I put his station on and it's actually pretty good. It plays a bunch of good variety. So now that that's blended out, I'm going to take a matte white shadow or a light cream shadow and just use it to set a little bit. And I'm going to take the Smashbox Full Exposure palette. And I'm going to take this color right here. I'm just going to lightly dust it on with this Morphe M533 brush. Make sure there's no creasing. And I'm just doing a really light layer because I just don't want it to be tacky. I don't want to have a tacky base. Two dogs and both of my dogs are currently sleeping, thank God. So the house is actually quiet today. And then I have kind of this, it's a little dirty, it's a Morphe M441 brush. I'm just gonna take a little dust cloth and wipe her off. Okay, so now that my brush is all clean, my Morphe M441, I'm gonna go into the shade Low Blow. One right next to Sauced. The pans are so small, I feel like I dip into 3 shadows at the same time. And I'm just gonna put this in my crease, mostly in the outer corner first, and then once I have a little less pigment, I can go ahead and drag it in. So first, circular motions in the outer corner for now. And then once there's a little less product, I drag it all the way in. I always start with just a little bit of product first and I slowly build it up. I find that's the best way to get the most gradient effect. And I know everybody says windshield wiper motions, but I feel like little circular motions is the best way. I feel like it truly blends it out more. These shadows are pretty pigmented, so you don't need a lot either. So I'm going to take this little, it's a little tiny Lancome palette. And there's just literally 2 shades in it. So the names are Bamboo and Cappuccino. Pretty sure this is Cappuccino. So, on my Morphe M514, I'm going to take Cappuccino. And then same thing, outer corner, most of the product. And then once I have less, and that's nice and blended, I can go ahead and go into the crease a little bit. And I'm keeping this one a little more precise and a little lower than the first color. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with that first brush that I had in that same first color, just to kind of blend everything a little bit better. Just going to go over the edges only. And I always pull my shadows out towards the end of my brow. And then I actually took a little bit of that second brown color, the one in the Lancome palette, and I took it more onto my lid so that I have a little bit of more color there before I apply my lid shade. Okay, and then just to get the outer corner a little deeper, I'm going to take this tiny little M562 brush, and I'm going to take this brand new Lorac palette. It's brand new. I have not touched it. Oh my god, it looks so pretty. I don't even want to touch it. Oh. But I'm going to take this shade Sable. And I'm just going to deepen the outer corner a little bit. I'm going to keep this color also a little closer to the lash line. I don't want to take it all the way up. Once I get that brown as pigmented as I wanted, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the edges some more. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with the M514, a little bit of low blow, and blend out the outer edges even more. Okay, a little smokier than I wanted, but that's okay. So now we're going to go in with the lid color. I'm going to take this little ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow in the shade Ritz. I'm just going to pop this all on the lid. And then I'm just going to wipe off my little M514 and then go over the edges a little bit. And back in with a little bit of Sable and putting it in the outer corner. And back in with the 441. I'm not even going to take any more product, just with whatever's left, just going around the edges one more time. I think that's it for eyes. So I'm just gonna go do a wing liner and I'll be right back. Okay, so wing liner is on. That's about as even as it's gonna get for me. And I used the, I can't find it. It's the NYX, the liquid liner. I don't know what it's called, but it's just a matte liquid liner. So now we can move on to face. I'm gonna take the Makeup Forever Step 1 hydrating primer, and I'm also going to take my Too Faced Hangover primer also. So I'm going to spray this first. And I'm just going to take about that much primer. Just go all over. Under the eyes too. Always want to hydrate under the eyes. Okay, so skin's nice and primed, and then for foundation I'm going to go with a mixture of the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation and the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation. This one's a little darker and this one's a little light, so I'm just going to mix the two and see what I get. This foundation oxidizes a lot also, so make sure you go down in size or in shade. And these are both super full coverage. So I have like that, and I'm just gonna mix it together. It's really big. Okay. Why am I not using a mirror? Okay, and then I'm going to take this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and just buff that in.
Breakfast at McDonald's.
I'm going to take a little bit more of the Milani foundation and just go over and put a little more on just on the outer edges to kind of deepen it up a little bit because it's way too light. So this is what the skin looks like. Very, very full coverage. Damp beauty blender, it's completely clean. Just go over everything to pick up any excess cakiness that's on there. Okay, so that's good enough. And then for concealer, I'm going to take another mix of two. I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape, and this one is going to be in the shade Light Sand. So we used light to prime the eyes, but this one's a little darker. It's Light Sand. And I'm going to mix it in with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in medium. Okay, now that that's all blended out, I'm going to take this translucent powder. It's by this Linda, it's called Linda Seidel Performing Powder. I don't know. It's just some random powder, but I'm just going to use this powder to lightly set anywhere I put concealer. And then for the rest of my face, I'm going to use this Ulta Beauty Adjustable Coverage Foundation all over the rest of my face. Take this it's Beauty 360 apparently, and this is their powder brush. I'm going to take that Ulta Beauty foundation and just set the rest of my face, mostly just where I'm going to put bronzer so it can go on nice and even. Okay, so face is set. I'm gonna go in with highlight before I go in with any more extra powder. This is the Tarte Pro Glow palette. Had it forever, but I never use it. I'm gonna take the M501 and dip in the shade Stunner. And my foundation is still kind of tacky, so it sticks on so much nicer. It just goes on so nice and smooth. And I go in a little C shape. And then taking a little bit of fire. Okay, so we're gonna move on to bronzer now. Taking the Morphe M510 and that same Tarte palette, it also has a bronzer I'm just gonna dip into. It's called Sculpt is the shade. A lot of people like this brush to highlight, but it's way too big to highlight for me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and contour. Okay, so that's more of a cooler shade. So to bronze it up and warm it up a little more, I'm gonna take the Ulta matte bronzer in the shade Cool, and it says cool, but it's still really warm. Same brush. And I'm just going on the hollows and blending circular motions upwards. And then I'm gonna blend the brush at the bottom of the nose. Now I'm going to go in and contour their nose. I'm going to use this little brush. It's just a small little blending brush. It says it's a MAC brush, but I'm pretty sure it's like a knockoff. So I'm going to go in with that Tarte shade. Just a little bit. And very lightly go down the sides. And then I'm also gonna blend some into the eyebrow and into the inner corner. So like, kind of like this, just to connect my nose contour. Yeah, this just helps blend the nose contour in more. Okay. And then I always like to do that line in this to make it look more upright. So I'm going to pinch my brush like this. Just go in. Okay, then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and just tap out the edges. And then now I can highlight my nose also. So I'm going to take this little Morphe M149 and that same Pro palette and just go in with Stunner. And I'm going to do my little exclamation point. So I'm going to go down here. And a little button tip. Go ahead and go in with blush. For blush, I'm taking the Tarte Sensual blush. Looks like this, such a natural, pretty, pinky shade. And I'm gonna take it on the Morphe M405, just a little bit. Smile and pop it on the cheeks. Super natural, super pretty. And then to further blend everything out on my cheeks, I'm going to take this big e.l.f. stipple brush. The Lancome Shadow First. So I'm going to take it on this really old pencil brush that I got from Walmart years and years ago. And I'm just going to go in with that little cappuccino shade and just blend it down here. And then once I get that to the right pigmentation, I'm going to take this little Morphe M562, looks like this. Further smoke it out with the first two shades that we used, so this one. Alright, and then I'm going to go pop on some lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so lashes are on. I went in with they're the Kiss 01 lashes. And they're just super more natural and fluffy. Okay, so now, I also went ahead and lined my upper waterline with this NYX Glide On Slide On black eyeliner. And then now we can move on to brows. So I'm going to take this little Ardell palette. It's in the shade medium. It has these 4 colors, and I go in with the deepest shade on this little angled brush. And I just fill in any gaps that need to be filled in. And I go very lightly because my brows are already super dark, so I don't want to overdo it. So they're definitely not the same, but I think that's about as good as they're gonna get. So I'm just gonna go and set them with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Actually, before that, I'm gonna take a spoolie and just blend it in. One of them is definitely large and in charge today. She's just living her best life today, I guess. For inner corner highlight, I'm going to take my little M149, take the shade Stunner, and just put it in the inner corner and brow bone. And then right at the high point only. And then I'm gonna take my Marni Badescu spray. This is the lavender one. And I'm gonna take the beauty blender and go over my highlight with it to blend it in. I think I'm gonna go in with lips. So for lips, I'm gonna take the NYX Glide On Slide On Eyeliner in the shade Beyond Nude. Okay, so I'm just gonna outline the edges of my lips. Okay, so for lips today, we're gonna go with ColourPop Chi from ColourPop and the Caruche collection. So I'm just gonna fill in my lips. Alright, and then before I go in with mascara, I'm gonna spray my face one more time with the Marni Badescu spray. And for bottom lashes, I'm gonna take this little Urban Decay, actually, no I'm not. I'm gonna take the little Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. And I'm only gonna apply mascara to my bottom lashes. So I'll go in with one layer, let it dry, and then I'll build it up and add another layer. Just to make them look extra chunky. I don't know why I love a more fuller lower lash line. I feel like it just suits my eyes so much better, especially since I have hooded eyes. It looks so much better. Alright, and then after that, you are done. So this is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!